Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Hope you have a wonderful day. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how do we go about charging our vehicle, our Tesla Model Y at home using solar panel and using the system that we have. So our solar panel can generate roughly or about 10 kilowatts per hour or so, and we utilize that in order for to charge our car most of the time. On a day like this where it's a little bit cloudy, it's probably not going to charge at roughly 10 kilowatts per hour. And this is at about 8 o'clock in the morning as well, so we're not expecting a lot of production as of right now. Yesterday we went out and we need to charge our car. At the current stage it's roughly about 50% or so, so we need to charge it up a little bit more before we need to head out roughly at about 11 o'clock. So to let me see, so I'm going to show you what is it currently producing based on our system. So this is what it looked like. Bear with me a second. There we go. Where is it? So I'm going to go through to you. This is based on SunGrow system that I have at home installed. At the current stage, if we're looking at our production, apparently it's actually producing roughly about 8.7 kilowatts. Let me just wait until it reproduces again. There we go. So every minute or so it does this data collection based on what the current situation with the sun. At the moment, our solar panel is roughly producing 8.2 kilowatts. So based on 8.2 kilowatts, at home we're using roughly 1 kilowatt at this stage, or thereabout. It fluctuates obviously because at the moment we're using a washing machine, one air conditioned split system at home for upstairs, and we might be using a few things in the kitchen appliance after this. However, 1 kilowatt if we're not using the ducted air conditioning. Now, if I were to look at our Tesla, at the moment it's still sitting at idle at 56%, or if not 231 kilometers to go. So I do have this scheduled roughly at about 9 o'clock to 4 p.m. So 9 o'clock in the morning to 4 p.m. in the afternoon to charge at home. And at this stage, it is running at about 5 kilowatts per hour, 5 amp. Now 5 amp is very low, so I'm gonna overwrite this schedule because I'm gonna show you guys how it works. So if I press the start, between 9 o'clock to about 4 o'clock, we do have a lot of sun here in Queensland. At about 2 o'clock or so, we use a hot water system in order for it to warm up our hot water. So bear with me a second. Okay, so now at the moment, this at 5 amp, it's only producing 1 kilowatt. Now I can toggle around how many kilowatts per, I guess, the higher the ampage that we're gonna have. If I go back to SunGrow at the moment, so it's still at 1. So now a bit more higher, 1.8. That's because I just turned on the car and wait for it until it finish. Great. So that is the data, 1.9, 1.8, but we're producing 8. So we're giving away to the grid quite a lot. So instead of giving it to the grid, I'm going to utilize that excess solar. So in order to do that, I can actually ramp this up. So for example, I can go up to about 21 amp, because our charging station can only connect up to about 21 amp, and that will be a 4 kilowatt. So if I were to do this up to full, it's going to take us roughly about 7 hours and 45 minutes to charge the car. And this should also going to, there we go, it's going to take the data. Usually if it's not refreshing, I force it to refresh. which is what I just did by just pulling the screen down, and it should. Now it's probably overloading. Try and figure out what's going on around the house, and it's still not going. The sometimes the Wi-Fi in here is not that good, so I'm gonna see if I can turn off the Wi-Fi and see if it produces more data. There we go. So that's at 8.9 kilowatts, but we're using about 5 kilowatts. 4 of that is for the vehicle, and then 1 of that is general usage around the house. So there you have it. So even this alone, we're still giving away a lot of, I guess, electricity based on our solar panel. Mind you, though, this is summer in December in Queensland, so our solar panel do produce a lot more during summer compared to winter. So now it's stabilized at about 8 kilowatts that we're producing, and we're using roughly about just 5 kilowatt or so around the house, with the vehicle charging at roughly at 4 kilowatts of that. So within about 5 hours or so, this should be going to full. However, today I don't think we're going to be doing it until full. And even that alone, based on 80% charge, roughly it's going to take about 4 hours at the current stage. Now, what I usually do also is, depending on the weather, if it's going to be cloudy day, I can ramp this down accordingly to about 12 amp, which is, if I do ramp it down, and it will go down to about 2 kilowatt, as you can see. And that would all depending on what type of weather that we're having in here in Queensland, on the day. If it's rainy, I try not to charge them, but if it's on a sunny day, we tend to charge them as much as we can. As you can tell now, it's actually going down already, roughly about 3 kilowatts around the house. Between 2 of that is actually in the on the vehicle, and then 1 of that around the house. It does take a little bit longer at about 4 hours or so, or now it's going to go up to about 6 hours instead of 4 hours at 80%. If it's 100% at the stage, it's going to take a little bit longer, so about 9 hours, and that's from 56%. Now, we both work from home. We don't usually use our car throughout the week. This will be a good opportunity to charge the car when we're at home. So hence why at about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, we tend to ramp up the production on our vehicle to about 21%, especially when we know we're going to be going out during lunchtime. But yeah, this is how I go about doing it in terms of charging our vehicle. We don't usually use any other charging out there. We don't usually use outside. Yesterday we went to Gold Coast. We charged the vehicle to 100%, and as of this morning at about 56%. So at the moment, gonna go up to 21. So and what else is there? So in the aspect of this, we know for sure we're only going to go out and about quiet short period of location or so. So we don't expect to use the whole entire 50, up to 100% usage of the vehicle or of the battery. But tomorrow we are going to go out to the beach, and we want the vehicle to be charged a lot, more like about 80-90% or so, depending which beach we're going to. We're going to explore a little bit during this holiday, and hopefully by doing it this way, it gives you guys an understanding, if you are having an electric vehicle, what you can do and how can you utilize it, so that way you're maximizing the usage of your solar panel, and how I go about doing it. So if I were to install, or if I were to install a solar panel, I would probably choose whatever the highest converter you can get. So at the time that this was being installed, our converter can get up to 10 kilowatts per hour. I think if you can get higher, then go get higher. Whatever the maximum that you can get, highly recommended. So Anyway, that's just our 2 cents, guys, on how we go about charging our vehicle in using solar panel and around this house. Cheers. Bye.